Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Steve with Real Progressives. I'm going to talk about the 2016 election and the hangover effect that the rigging has had on our ability to grab hold of hope and to be able to talk a little bit about some of the destructive patterns that I see happening right now from people that I would otherwise consider allies. And maybe some things that we can do differently to kind of fix this, because it's deeply concerning to me, because I saw this happen right as Bernie conceded to Hillary, and I've seen different factions of it since then, and I'd really like to clear some things up from my perspective, maybe give you guys some insights into how I'm thinking, and see if you agree with me. Maybe you find something you didn't think about in listening to this. But we all have been burned. There was a huge amount of shock and awe from watching the way the elections were handled in 2016 and 2015. And then to see the coordinated attack to try and paint it all about Russia, and to try to maybe provide some air cover that Hillary lost to this awful Donald Trump. How could it possibly be? Most qualified, can't miss candidate, all the rest of it, And you ask yourself, they spent all this time building Donald Trump up only to tear him down, which, whatever, okay, that's politics. But I'm not worried so much about that. I'm worried about you and I, me and the way we process the information, right? They're going to play games with us. That's what they do. It's what they've always done. It's what they'll always do. And I say they because it's all of they. It's political strategists. It's people in think tanks. It's all the people that surround these candidates and the parties, and they think about how best to spin this. It's a game. That's why they had Spin City, and they had all kinds of different think tanks that go around talking about how they can mentally make people see things a certain way. And the burden of proof isn't really on anyone. Once they put it out into the universe, there's people out there that grab hold of anything and then they run with it. And any seed of truth becomes, something that takes on a life of its own. And they know this. That's the sad part. They know that they don't have to actually say something definitively. They can just sort of leak a theory into social media, into the news, at a news conference, and somebody's going to glom onto it, and then it will take everybody, not everybody, but it'll take enough people along the joyride to take them out of the real game, which is the effective game, which is to actually win. So what they do is they spread this propaganda to get us to divide over nonsense. And I'm not going to get into it because some people are still probably trapped in some of these sidebars that have occurred. But now here we go. We've been all fighting and hoping to have a new deal. I mean, seriously, going back, I remember day in and day out, Bernie Sanders in that hoarse voice standing up on stage in front of 30,000 people. I remember the Sacramento. Do you all remember that picture of him in Sacramento where he was like talking to freaking crowds? You thought you were at a Metallica concert. You thought you were at a Grateful Dead concert. You know what I mean? It was that kind of badassery. And it was just Bernie Sanders talking about a new deal, talking about a movement, talking about a revolution, a political revolution. And there you were watching this, and you felt alive. You felt like anything was possible. And then all of a sudden, the floor got dropped out from under you. And all of a sudden, you felt this tremendous dissonance between what you were dreaming, the dream that you had deep in your heart, this feeling that anything was possible. And then it was gone. It was just gone. It was just freaking ripped out of your soul. And it left you grasping for straws. It left you wondering where you were in this universe. I mean, seriously, I get it. Dude, I was on camera sobbing my eyes out because I put everything I had into it, everything and then some. So I remember it deep, like I still have, the feels over this thing, right? And get Beto the hell out of here. That he is neoliberal trash, dude. Come on, please stop. Whew, God. Anyway, but here we are. We watch as Bernie Sanders has a climate change town hall and Beto hosts a bunch of fossil fuel people. And you wonder, they're trying to paint Beto as a frigging, progressive and so forth. So you're seeing all the positioning going on. You see them bringing up the next bullshit with Kamala Harris. And you see them taste testing all these other folks. And you say, oh, God. But then, this is the part that I'm really focused on. This is the part, like if you get rid of all the noise and you don't let anyone float those things by you because they're going to keep doing it. And you just think about what's going on with the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal is an extension of Sacramento when Bernie Sanders was like, $27, blah, blah. When he's up there in front of all of us. The Green New Deal is an extension of that moment. And so, what I've come to experience, and this is what I want to see if you all agree with. Politicians are going to fail us 24/7. They are. I don't expect a lot from a politician. They've got a unique set of circumstances where they've got to get elected, whatever that means. I believe in a movement because I believed in it then. I believed in not me, us. That was what kept me going no matter what Bernie said. He would say things that, drove me crazy about taxes, funding, spending. He'd say different things that made my head split wide open. But I believed in this movement. I saw it, I felt it. I was there. I knew what was happening. It was tangible. I could touch it. I could see it. So I knew it was possible. I had been at a Grateful Dead show hitting up the nitrous balloons. I know it's possible. So I'm sitting there at a Bernie Sanders. It's possible. It's possible. And here we have someone coming out in Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, whether you like her or not. It's not me, us all over again, in my opinion. Because I'm watching these kids from the Sunrise Movement. And folks, this shit breaks me up inside, tears me up, makes me want to cry. Because I'm so excited that young people, are fighting for this. It doesn't matter about the politicians. I'm not interested in the politicians. I'm happy to see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a freshman, a kid, not even 30, standing up, right, wrong, or indifferent, standing the fuck right up. I'm excited about that. It gives me hope. Not that politicians will do my job for me, but that I have a reason to continue doing mine. Because I'm always about a movement. And then you look over in France, and you see it happening right there. You see people saying, we won't take it anymore. And they're not saying, well, we can't do anything until we get a different Macron. We need a different Theresa May. They're not doing that. They're saying, we're going to fight for it whether we have Donald Trump in office or not. And I love them for this. Do you understand? This is what I've been preaching. I'm just too old and fat to be able to do it. I need the kids. I need them to do this. You know what I'm saying? I need them to do it. I can be a spokesperson through this medium that I have. I can go to rallies and stuff like that. But I don't have the luxury of being able to just go to a protest that, well, I've got special needs kid. I've got life, whatever. Point is that I'm at a different place in my life. So I have to depend on that next generation. And I'm watching them step up. I'm not worried about whether they're Democrats or Greens. I could give a shit. I'm not thinking about what party they're in. I wasn't thinking about what party anyone was in then. I really believe in this 99% thing. I even believe in people that are Republicans. You understand what I'm saying? And when I see this kind of movement going on, And I see this stuff going on globally, and I see it going on in Australia even. You know, when I see this kinds of stuff going on, I think to myself, we might just do it, regardless of what we have in Congress, regardless of what we have in the White House, because I say this and I'm going to say it and I'll say it again. Richard Nixon, you'll never get anything better than this. Richard Nixon, his signature is the one that signed into law the Environmental Protection Agency. Richard Nixon signed into law the Environmental Protection Agency. We can do anything, and it doesn't matter. Now listen, I want to fight for free and fair elections. I want to fight for publicly funded elections. I want to fight for really good transparency. I'd like to see blockchain used for voting. I'd like to see a lot of different things that can't be messed with. Do you understand? I mean, I've got a lot of ideas, a lot of important ones too. Maybe some of them that somebody else knows a lot better than me. But I got ideas. But we can't do everything. That's the thing. We can't do everything. No, Nick, hey, hold on real quick. I want to time out this for a second. I'm sorry that I'm stepping back, but I see a vote blue sycophant floating around that I happen to like. And I want to say something real quickly. He's all stuck on Beto. Nixon is a bad dude. Nixon was forced by the people to do good things. I wasn't elevating Richard Nixon. I'm not trying to champion a Sanders-Nixon campaign. I'm not out there doing Sanders-Nixon. I'm saying a jackass like Nixon, a.k.a. like Donald Trump, could sign into law something that you didn't think was possible. But there's a lot of give-up people out there saying that if we don't have a Congress, if we don't have a Senate, we can't do anything. And I'm telling you, you're wrong. Don't put some neoliberal turd up there and try and sell me that they're progressive. They're not. I didn't lose all my faculties because I'm almost 50 years old, guys. Okay? Bush did AIDS stuff, right? I mean, there's a lot of things out there that some of these really bad people did if we force them. If we act as a people and take ownership of our role as citizens. That's the thing. If we take ownership of our role as citizens within the public purpose, within the public space, and we take it seriously to be public servants once again, and not just elected public servants, but activists who mean business. That's a public service, right? We have a role to play here. We have a role to play, and we can shape and force a new deal to come through. Folks, I'm telling you, I don't want to see this opportunity miss because the cool kids are separated out by hatred over her being a Latino, blah, 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 or a Democrat, blah, 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 or oh, she's a sellout because she didn't, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I'm not listening to that. It's bullshit. Don't worry about that. She's a politician. She'll probably fail you. She's probably going to fail you because she's a politician. She's probably going to have to make some deal that you don't like. I'm not putting my hope in her. I'm just saying right here, right now, we've got like no other time in my life. And I've been around since 1969, folks. At no other time in my life have I ever seen this kind of movement toward a not me, us movement. Literally growing by the minute, not me, us, not me, us, not me, us. To me, this is the power of being a citizen, of being someone who is socially minded, that is willing to partake. I want us to do that. I don't want you to get sidetracked because she's a Democrat or because she says something about Pelosi or some other optics. She's playing a game. She's a politician. Stop making politicians be activists. Although she's doing a damn good job of walking that line, isn't she? Give her credit. Give her credit. I have not seen another candidate, much less someone elected to office, sitting there guiding students in to the offices of Congress, guiding them into Pelosi's office and taking them out like that. I've not seen that happen. I've not seen that happen. And I mean, the people that are going there with a purpose. And it's a coherent purpose. And they're not just yelling and screaming. There's literal purpose in what they're doing. And I have so much respect for that. I have so much respect for that. And I think that if we as a movement, yes, and Stevie, there's people that were arrested for sure. They put it on the line. I want to see us embrace the movement. Don't get caught up in the optics. My God, if some other dead president comes through that she has to say some 3 or 4 words of praise to, please don't let that sideline a New Deal. Please don't get wrapped around the axle. I don't care if she flubs up. I care about a Green New Deal. She's just one person. We're many. We're legion. And if we stay focused on this, how can we be defeated? How can the people be defeated? I'm telling you right now that they will listen to the people when the people make demands, and literal demands, not just a bunch of shotgun scatter nonsense. The time is right. Thank you, Green Party, for elevating the term Green New Deal. Thank you, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, for taking it to where it could be acted upon. And thank you, everyone, for stepping up large to put the freaking... You realize, by doing this, we aren't just helping America. We're helping the entire world. That's right. I love it. Jennifer Kalansky. I see this. It's happening all over the world. Exactly. We are not just this little teeny box on the map. We're a global movement. And yes, Jim, the yellow vest protest. I mean, folks, I want you to see this for the way it really is. Now, I work in a group of people that are economists, people that are fighting for economic justice, which is what enables all these things to happen. That's where my space is. But I'm a part of a larger movement with you all, everyone, right? We're all part of this movement. I just focus on the economic side of it. But we're talking about environment and how do we marshal resources to address this? I want you guys to see the perfection, the timing, the bond that we share amongst all the peoples of the world. Folks, like no other time in history, we have a chance to be important, to matter. The things we do matter. Our lives matter. What you do next matters. That's important. That gives purpose to our lives. I think that's a really important thing. You're not just getting up, turning the TV on, eating a sandwich, drinking coffee, doing whatever you do, and then going to bed. This is a real opportunity to put the death knell on neoliberalism. And you know something? I think it's just as important to do each one teach one so that people start believing and thinking about this stuff. So they start really, really thinking about it. Folks, you got to get regular people, not just the activist world, regular people to understand that we can do really, really great things. If you can make them believe by slowly and patiently teaching them, by showing them how it works for their life, the what's in it for me thing, help them see the tie-ins, help them understand, then we can bring casual people into this movement as well. We can bring rank and file people into this movement as well and really, really take the world over. This is a time like no other time in history. Like no other time in history. If you allow yourself to be part of a movement and not get swept away by movement, if you allow yourself to be part of a movement, this is how we will succeed. I believe that in my heart of heart. I believe it in my soul. That is how we win. Find out where people are coming from. Find out what their angle is. Make the pitch so that they understand how this benefits them as taxi drivers, how this benefits them as sanitation workers, how this benefits them as teachers, how this benefits them as parents, as grandparents, as children, as students. Help them see the tie-ins to everything. It's up to us. This truly is a we movement. And it's important that we not allow partisan nonsense and party walls to prevent us from moving forward. People, when they understand what's in it for them, will take the next step to make sure that it happens. And that's up to all of us to make that happen. So, from my standpoint, I'm not telling you to dem enter. I'm not telling you to dem exit. I'm not telling you to green enter. I'm not telling you to green exit. I'm not telling you to join Movement for a People's Party. I'm not telling you not to join Movement for a People's Party. I'm here to tell you wherever you are, if you're a real progressive, if you're a human being, there's room for you in this movement, and it's time to take your spot in it and be a part of it and make it happen. I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives, and I hope you have a great day, everyone, and I hope that what I'm saying here resonates with you, and I hope that you find value in it, and I hope that you understand that I'm neither putting any parties down, nor am I building any parties up. I'm simply saying let's be a part of a movement that makes a Green New Deal happen no matter where we are. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.